Joining us now from New York is Fred Teng. He is president of the America-China Public Affairs Institute. Let's start there with the WTO. China has filed a complaint with the WTO, but we heard in Yasmin's story, one of the gentlemen saying there's no WTO jail. So where do you see this going?
Well, this is just a process of negotiation, but you're right. WTO is probably the second best solution, far distant second, because whatever the decision is, no sides will be happy with the result, and the implementation is very difficult to carry out.
And as you mentioned, no side being happy, I suspect the folks in Beijing not very happy about the latest moves by the White House. They're ratcheting things up even more. These are big numbers being bandied about as Nathan broke it down for us. I mean, it's not $100 billion in tariffs, but he's talking about $100 billion. I mean, these are significant numbers we're talking about.
Yes, it is. But if China want to retaliate, they can only do about 80 billion because the total U.S. export to China is 130 billion. So if you subtract that 50, they only have 80 billion left. So every product from the United States export to China will be subject to a tariff. Of course, this is not the right way to deal with this. And what's dangerous is the alternation of alternative product. So if China does not buy Boeing jets, they will be buying Airbus. And if they don't buy soybean from United States, they'll be buying from Brazil, Mexico, Argentina, and so forth. And that it's losing the total market. It's not about paying a tariff anymore.
Almost sounds like a poker game. I'll raise you 80 billion. As you said, there's not enough room for all these chips. But financial markets once again gyrating on this news. U.S. stock futures tumbling more than 1% after this announcement from the White House. That's a reversal of all the gains on Thursday when it seemed like investors were finally having a sigh of relief after the reassuring words from Larry Kudlow, his top economic advisor, said these tariffs haven't been imposed yet. They're just proposals right now. What is this going to do to the markets, you think?
Well, so far, I think the investors, first, they were jittery, and then they have confidence. They think that this might be settled behind back doors. But I think that with this, it probably will create another ripple somewhere. But you have to understand, this is President Trump's method of operation all his business life, which is sue first, negotiate later. Not very successful at most of his cases, even in his business life. So I don't know whether he will be very successful in doing this at all.
Fred, you said that all very calmly. How do you think this thing sorts out?
I'm optimistic. I think that there are good people on both sides, professional people, and hopefully we can resolve this dispute. Now, I know there's issues from the U.S. side about China's trade practice, but China also have issues with U.S. in terms of their practice as well. Many of the times, the accusation is very hard to get into the China market, but it's extremely hard to get into the United States as well. Most of the Chinese companies coming to invest in the United States have to pay a premium just because they're Chinese companies. So all of these need to be resolved by both sides, hopefully calmly.
Yeah, I've heard that complaint quite a few times. Fred Teng, joining us from New York. Thanks so much.